Let's talk about GitHub Issues. GitHub Issues are, as I said before, a kind of email where you can type a little title and a comment. But the most useful things about issues is that first they keep related to a specific project, and that you can label them with something that is meaningful for you and will help you or others find specific issues whenever you need them. Also, you can assign them to projects and milestones and assign them to people. But yeah, I'm going to give you some resources to learn more about that. So once you start creating a bunch of issues, this idea of classifying them so that you can filter them efficiently becomes useful. So let's go ahead and create a new issue, and let's learn how to create a label, how to filter a label. So I'm here in a repository under my user account, Mauro Lepore, and in this repo called ABCD, you can see that it's a pretty much empty project. There is almost nothing here except this README file, which is what is showing you the text here. And I have 0 issues open, so I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to type here my first issue, and I'm going to type a little comment. You can preview the result here. You can format the text with markdown syntax. If you don't know what that is about for now, don't worry. I'll give you more pointers to that later. But the idea is that you can format text with the menus here, which will create, in this case, for example, bold text, which compares to normal text. Yeah. So you can use these menus to insert the syntax for you, or you can insert them yourself. Once you learn Markdown syntax, you will realize that it's much faster sometimes than going to the menu and clicking things. So you can submit the issue right away, or you can already add some labels. For example, well, this is something I would like. This is my an enhancement, and it's a good first issue. Or if you don't have the issue that you want, you can create a new one. The label, sorry. So you can create a new label here. Cool label, and that's going to be now an option for you. So when you go to your issues, my issue was unfinished, so when I create a new issue, that's the one that I get here. You can now search the issue that you just created, and just by clicking on it, it will be allocated. You can now click outside the label section, and you'll see that effectively that label is going to be applied. So now you can submit the issue, and you have already inserted it in here. And people can later come here and add emoticons, so they can add new comments and continue the conversation here. It could be yourself, or it could be someone else that adds comments to this thread. And whenever you're ready and you think that the issue has been basically closed, then you click the close issue, and that issue will no longer be listed. So if I go to the tab issues, you see that I have 0 issues listed because the one I just typed is now closed. But if I click in close, I can see a bunch of issues that are already closed, including this last one that I just created, and you can reopen it if you want. So now if I go to issues, now I see that issue that we created listed again. So as I showed before, this idea of adding labels or classifying the issues in one way becomes important when you start having many of them. So you can not only use labels to classify them, but also you can assign each issue to different projects, which are groups of issues. And that's something I would like to just mention for now, but I'm not going to get into a lot of detail. You can find more information in the link that I'm going to show you in a moment if you find that important. So project boards, this is the topic that I just introduced. You can always in GitHub, you can find information in the link help.github.com, and then you start typing anything and you will find very short and well-written help pages for you to learn about any topic. So if you want to learn more about project boards, you could go there and type just projects and you will see this link here to about project boards. Let me motivate you with kind of showing an example of what they look like, so that you can understand if you need them or not. So this is a project board for a project of mine. It's kind of old, I'm not using it anymore, but at least it gives you an overview of what they are and what they are good for. So each of these items here are issues that I create in the same way that I just showed you. But then you can group issues in projects, they have a connection between themselves. And again, you can use labels in the same way that I showed you before. So this is one way in which you could kind of manage your projects, and there's also features to create milestones for different projects may need to reach some milestone with a specific date, sometimes towards a goal, and all of that you can manage here. So I encourage you to read more about this if you think that might be useful by doing this, by going to help.github.com. And I also recommend you to read a bit about wikis, because that's a feature that some people find very useful, which are one way of creating comprehensive documentation specific to your project. Basically, it's an easy way to create a nice looking website where you can store documentation about your project. So that's all for this topic of issues. We are going to talk about issues in more detail as we progress in the different topics of this GitHub talk. And the next topic is going to be collaboration.